Hello, my friends. Welcome back. How are you? I hope doing okay. Let's see what I am up to today. So, I have this little angel mold here. Some of you have probably seen it. It's a mold that's been around for a while. And then this is another mold that's been around for a while. So, we're going to use these two molds for our creation today. Yes, we're going to play with some more mixing mold, but we're going to do mixing mold and resin. So for our chunky letters, we're going to do those in the mixing mold. And then for our angels, those are going to be done in the resin. So I'm going to go ahead and start mixing this mixing mold. And I'm trying to decide on the amount that I want to do because I'm not real sure exactly how much I'm going to need. So we're going to go with the 1 up, and that's going to be the 2/3 of the mixing mold and 4 tablespoons of water. And that may be just a tad bit over, but we'll put the other in something else. Or maybe I'll put it in a little coaster and then let it dry and use it as terrazzo chips. So I'm going to pull my little bowl over here that I've been using for my mixing mold. And I'm going to do it different this time. Last time I put the water into the mixing mold. This time I'm going to put my water first into my little dish here. And then I'm going to add the mixing mold to it a little at a time. Because I keep getting little bitty bubbles in my pieces. And I know that I can sand them down, but I don't like them on the edges of things. Because if you sand it down, you're going to be able to tell it. So I'm going to try to see if I can get a better outcome this way. My container keeps spinning on the bottom because I didn't have another hand to hold it. So I guess I'm going to put the measuring cup down and stir. That way I can hold on to the little dish here while I stir. And I found this little whisk, and it's silicone on the other end of it. And I'm trying to decide if I like it or not. Because the little thing that came with the mixing mold kit, I didn't purchase that. It's some kind of little stirring thing that you can buy. It comes with a measuring cup and a stirring stick and probably some other things. I didn't purchase that because I really didn't feel like I needed it. But I was trying to get something that was kind of close to that little tool that they had to stir the mixing mold. But I don't think I'm really liking this this spatula. Not spatula. Lord help me. This whisk. I don't think I'm liking this whisk very much. Because it can't get down into the sides of the bottom of the cup down there. You know, where the edges, around the edges, the mixing mold likes to set in there. And you can take a popsicle stick and get right down into those edges. So I may go back to just stirring with a regular popsicle stick. And see, I get my popsicle stick and I go around the edges to make sure there's none of that mixing mold sitting down there that's not incorporated into the rest of the mixture. So now I think I need to get on out of this bowl because I can feel it trying to get a little bit firm, and I still haven't added my colorant yet. So we're going to use the Resin-crete colorants, and I'm going to do the green, 2 drops of the green, 2 drops of the brown, I'm trying to make sure I don't drop an extra drop in there because I do have a heavy hand. And then I'm going to do the orange to get kind of like a earthy tone look. And I'm going to give it a little stir. And now I'm going to get my mold and squeeze it on in here. And hopefully you can see every letter that I'm going to be using. Okay, we're going to pour into the A. And I'm trying to pour a little bit above it, so maybe it will help with some of the bubbles. But I don't know if that's doing worse or better. I'm really not sure. So I done the P, and now I'm going to do the R. Can anybody tell what I'm spelling? Now I'm going to scoot the mold up a little bit. You can't quite see the letter I'm pouring in down here, but it is the Y. And now I'm going to go back through and I'm going to make sure these are topped off because I see the R needs a little bit more in it. I want these letters to be completely full. Because if I don't fill them, it'll leave a little lip there, you know, which I don't mind sanding them either. So now I'm going to put the leftovers into this little coaster here that I have. I just use these coasters for experiments and stuff like that. So I just grabbed one of them and I'm just going to put the rest of it over into that mold. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to tilt it and let it reach the edge so it fills up the entire coaster, because that way it'll make a real thin layer of the mixing mold. And when it cures, it'll be real easy to pop it and make it crumble into terrazzo chips. It's much harder to do that if you do it thick. And I'm going to take my little Q-tip here and I'm just going to clean up around the mold, around the edges of the letters. Because if I leave any of that on there, then it's going to cause a lip when it comes out. Now, I added this into the video. These are the little bitty container molds that I purchased from Temu. And remember the last time I done them, I told you I'd give you an update on them because one of them, the lid would not screw onto it. So I left these right here in the molds for a week. These have been in the mold for an entire week. So now we're going to demold them and see if the lids will screw on properly. Because remember before, it just kept turning. Every time I would turn the lid, it wouldn't lock. You know, it wouldn't spin on there right and lock to close the lid. So, I'm going to screw this one on and see what we get. And that one is working perfectly. It closed perfectly. It's tight. It's nice. It works. Okay, now let's get this one out and see if it works too. Because my thoughts were something was wrong with one of the lid molds is what my thoughts were. But it could have been me. It could have been me stretching my piece out too much and I, deformed it. So I'm not quite sure. That's why I redone it and gave you guys an update on it, because I didn't want to tell you anything wrong in case anyone's interested in buying these little molds for your glitters or your inclusions. But I can tell the lids look a little bit different. One of them looks a little bit thicker than the other. And see, this one right here, it's not closing at all. And I guarantee you it's the same lid from the last ones that I done. So, this is my update to you on this. If you want to take your chances on purchasing these molds, you know, you may get some that work wonderful. But you may be like me and you may have gotten one that didn't work so hot, you know. So if you want to take your chance on that, that's up to you. I did purchase 4 of these and I've only tried out 2 of them. So I'm going to toss that one lid out because there's no fixing it. And here's the other ones that I done, and they've been sitting up on my rack curing. And that one still closes, and this one right here still don't close. So it's never going to close. So I have 2 good little jars here out of the 4 that I done. Okay, now we're back to our project here. And I'm going to take my Scotch tape here, and I'm going to run it over the top of the mold right quick. Get any debris off of the mold. It's been a while since I used this mold. And I always clean my molds and I spray them with silicone spray. And then I store them. But, you know, I always like to run that tape over them just in case. Now we're going to use these 2 glitters here. The extra fine silver champagne and then the Glitter Guys tarnished. And I'm going to mix these 2 glitters because I want the extra fine to be in the other. I want a little bit of both. So I want to see if these 2 colors will look good in our angels. Now here's my little mixing mold cup that we done our letters with. And I'm going to show you what I do. I let it dry and then I take it and I just squeeze my container really good and shake out all of that extra mixing mold. And then I get my little baggie here and I drop those chips into my bag because now we have a bag of terrazzo chips. See? And then I take a little bit of alcohol and I wipe out my dish and get it clean for the next time. Okay, now we have our cups out and my resin. I did 40 milliliters of resin. I know we won't need that much, but I'll use it for something. So now we're going to go ahead and mix these 2 glitters into our resin here. And I'm just going to do 1 scoop of each and see what I got in the cup. Yeah, it could take a little more, so we're going to do another scoop of each. And then we'll go ahead and stir it up. And with those being 2 different colors of glitter, I hope we get a real pretty turnout in our angels. Now let that degas for 5 minutes. And now we're going to go ahead and spray a little alcohol in the mold. And now I'm going to take that clear resin that I had left over to the side. And I'm going to drop a little bit of it into each of our angels. And I'm doing that so hopefully I won't get any trapped air bubbles. I'm going to go ahead and do the clear and run my little tool through it and make sure it gets in every little area in those angels. And I'm not putting very much resin at all because these angels aren't very deep to begin with. So I'm making sure I just get like a drop of resin, a drop or 2 of resin in there. And there's one angel on here that we're not going to use because it's going to be too big for our little word that we made. And I used my tool and I went through it a little bit. And now I'm heating that resin up. I'm going to spray a little alcohol. And now I sped it up just a little bit while we fill the mold with the glitter. Uh-oh, I spilt some on that one. Not much though. Some of these angels are tiny. But I love this mold. For these angels to be so tiny, they still have a lot of detail in them. And now I'm going to take my little dotting tool here and I'm going to run it through the angel to kind of mix up the clear resin with the glitter a little bit. And then I'm going to clean up around my mold so that when I pop them out, they won't have any excess resin around them, because that's more sanding you got to do. I don't like to sand. I don't mind doing it, but I don't like it. It's not my favorite thing to do. Now I'm going to take my heat gun and I'm going to heat up the resin and pop any of the surface bubbles. Spray a little alcohol, and then we're going to cover them and let them cure. Now we're back and we're going to go ahead and demold our letters and see what we got. And here's our P. I love the back, how it looks. And there's that splotchy look again, but I've been told that it needs to dry. So I hope I get the same look on the front that's on the back. And my little flower pot that I done, or succulent pot that I done last time, it did dry out, and those splotches aren't on that piece anymore. So I'm hoping these will look just the same. That it just needs to dry out. And these colors are very subtle. Maybe I could have put a little bit more in there, but I just wasn't sure how much would be too much. Does anybody know, like, I mean, if you put in too much colorant, would they not cure? I mean, I'm just not sure about that. If anybody knows, drop it in the comment box below, comment section below, so I can read it. And there's our word. It says pray. Isn't that cute? They turned out beautiful. Now we're going to go ahead and demold our angels because they are fully cured. And let's take a look at our letters. They have dried a little bit, you know, because the blotches on here were darker. They were a lot darker. If you rewind your video and go back and look, they were darker. So they have dried out a little bit since the angels cured. But I love how the back of them look. The backs look so beautiful. I hope that's what we're going to get on the front too. And I wonder if you sanded them down, would you get a different color? Like, would it change colors? I'm going to have to try that. Okay, so now we're going to demold our angels and see what they look like. And here's one of them. I like that glitter. It's subtle. It's not popping in there. And we may put this angel right here on the side of that P. Woo, he's sliding down. Let's go ahead and get the rest of them out, and then we'll see where we're going to put them at on our word. That one's cute. This one right here is one of my favorite. This is my second favorite in that mold. And I'll show you my first favorite. And that one's cute. That's got to be my favorite out of the tiny ones. And I think this one's my least favorite. But this is my favorite out of the whole mold right here. That's my favorite one. Isn't that cute? I'm going to put them all on here because you can really, it really showcases the angels behind, with the pink behind them. So I'm going to put them all on here and let you get a good look at them. That color turned out really good. So now let's go ahead and, well, I got one more over here we might demold. I forgot about it. I've never casted in this mold right here. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I've always wondered what it looks like. I just never, you know, put resin in it to see. But let's see what this is. Oh, it's cute. It looks like a little girl with a towel and a house coat on. Maybe she just got out of the bathtub. But I can't figure out, is that cucumbers on her eyes? I mean, is she just so relaxed that she needed ice cream? What's going on here? I don't know. It's cute, though. Okay. We're going to get this UV resin right here. The Let's Resin UV resin. And I'm going to put some of it on the back of this angel right here. And then we're going to put it on the side of this P right here. I'm going to make sure I get it right where I want it. And then reach for my UV light and cut it on. I need to fix it though. There we go. And now I'm going to go ahead and cure that up right quick. Now we're going to get this angel right here, and the bottom of it needs to be sanded a little because this angel I want to sit up, perched up on that R. And in order for it to do that, we're going to have to get the bottom of it flat right here. It's got a lump in it, and it's not wanting to set down. So I'm going to change to my big file right here, and I put my mask on because if you're not wet sanding, you need to have a mask on. Because that will get in your lungs. The dust flying from this resin will get in your lungs. I don't think I'm quite there yet. I think I need to sand it a little bit more. I'm going to really give it some elbow grease. Okay, let's take our little angel out right here, and he's ready. So we're going to set that P down like that. And I'm going to dust this angel off right here, and we're going to see if we sanded him enough. Yes, and he sits up there. Yay! So now let's get this one and put some UV resin on the bottom of it. I'm going to make sure it's dusted off real good. And now we're going to get our letter and dust it off. And then I'm going to see right where I want to put that angel at before I drop the UV resin on the bottom of it. I want to see exactly where I'm going to place it. And now I'm going to put the UV resin on the bottom of it. And let's place it on our letter. Make sure we get it right where we want it. Because you don't want that UV resin to look like it's all on the top of that letter. You want it to look nice and neat. So now I'm going to get the light and I'm going to cure it up. Okay, so there it is. And I went ahead and stuck that P under it again to make sure it's, you know, really cured up. So now let's get this other angel right here. And I'm going to grab my tweezers so I can place it just right on there. And we're going to put this one on the front of the R. And that's the only letter that we're going to add one of the tiny angels on the front of it. Because we don't want them looking, you know, too crowded. And I'm making sure I get that angel straight. And now let's go ahead and do this one so we can put them under the lamp at the same time. So I'm going to drop that UV resin on the side of it. And then we're going to put this angel right here like he's standing up, leaning on the R. And I'm going to clean up right here where I see a little bit of the UV resin peeking out. Because I want people to look at it and be like, well, how did that get on there? You know, you don't want them to see any kind of glue or anything. So now I'm going to get my UV lamp and I'm going to hold it here, you know, because the Y is kind of leaning. So I didn't want the angel to slide off of it. So now they're cured. And then here they are. Let's set them all up and take a look at them. I forgot we have one more angel left to put on the Y over here. So I'm just going to see how I want to place it on there. I have a giveaway coming up real soon. I'm trying to make sure that the resin will be fully cured and safe for its trip to a new home. It's going to be 2 of those hands up for grabs. And the hummingbird piece will be soon after this giveaway. I had some doming to do on it. So I think I've got this angel placed right where I want it. I'm going to set it right like that. And we're going to go ahead and cure it up. And then we'll take a look at our word and how it looks. Now, I always lay the P down and then the Y down and leave the R and the A standing because I think it looks cute like that. And you can set these up anywhere you want to set them up at. Well, we have reached the end, my friends. I hope you have an amazing weekend. Stay safe. And if you live where it's getting extremely hot, please be careful and stay hydrated. Don't forget to keep those water dishes full if you have outside pets and a way for them to get out of the sun into some shade. Well, I will see you all on Monday and have a great weekend. God bless you. Bye-bye, my friends.